Hi, this is Anna Imagination of the Healing Garden. So I have been reverse engineering narcissism and the 12 ethics. And I realized that every time we are abused, it is a violation of the second, the fourth, and the sixth ethic. And that is it. In addition, it is also the subconscious mind's golden rule, which is the law of reciprocity and also the law of Newton's third law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. It's not an option. Our subconscious mind does it. Now, you can interrupt the process if you know about the process. Most people don't know. The golden rule is a constant, which in mathematics is a red flag. Actually, it's a big green flag. When something is a constant, it means it's right. It means there's truth. And the golden rule literally shows up in every single culture, in every single religion, and every single philosophy. The golden rule. Now, if I were to follow that through with mathematics, that means the golden rule is a law. That is a constant. So, when you look at what the golden rule actually is, it is Newton's third law of physics. And when you look at what happens in abuse, it is very much the golden rule at play. It's reciprocity, which is 100% what we are doing with the law of averages, is we are very much accessing the golden rule. Now, when we are abused, the second ethic, a violation of our self-authority, has been violated. The fourth ethic, our self-control, has been violated. And our sixth ethic, equal footing, has been violated. Now, in addition to that, the ninth ethic has been violated because it is forced human connection. It is non-consensual human connection, which is energy rape. Now, when you are in a connection with someone, instantly the golden rule is going to apply because you are in a connection. It means that as soon as you are bonded, then you are upheld by ethical law. This is what I saw. It means that you are upheld by ethical law. You are ethically honor bound to obey the golden rule and the 12 ethics. Oh. See, I am consciously ethically honor bound. And I know what that means. I did not realize that a person could become non-consensually honor bound, which explains mental illness. Oh, holy shit. Oh, holy shit. So when you enter into a contract with a connection, you are choosing to step into, oh my God, this explains all of humanity. We become honor bound to the 12 ethics. They are Mother Nature's laws, the golden rule plus these 12 ethics. And so if you seal a connection, you have a bond. This is literally the same bond in chemistry with atoms bonding to neutrons. It's the same thing. You are bonding to another atom. And it's an atomic bond. So that when you are interacting with someone, when you choose to consent to a connection, even if it's non-consensual, you are stepping into the agreement of the 12 ethics and the golden rule. It's going to apply. Now, if you have not chosen this, no. If you have not chosen this, you're going to be held to the same standards of the ethical law, whether you like to or not. Now, in order to get out of this bond, you have to literally deconstruct it through forgiveness, which is the reverse engineering of these 12 ethics, doing them in order, or I'm sorry, backwards, but in order. No matter how I break this down, it keeps coming over and over again to the same thing. The golden rule and the second, fourth, sixth ethic, the ninth ethic that have been violated, closing you into an ethical contract with karma. Do you hear what I'm saying? The karma bank is tapped into these 12 ethics. And if you are in a contract to them, you are bound by ethical law to uphold them. So if somebody violates you by, well, first of all, if they do violate you, it is because they are taking advantage of their position over you. So they violated the sixth ethic, which is equal footing. And that puts you in a position now where, golden rule, you have to now reciprocate. But because they took advantage of you at the advantage, now you have to reciprocate as they did, which is take advantage of somebody else at the advantage, which is where bullying comes from. Now, you also are ethical to the 12 ethics. So now you have violated these 12 ethics. Now you have something called forced ethical violation. A forced ethical violation. And forced ethical violation it's the opposite of disgust. Fourth ethical violation, how do I explain it? It's raping. It's horrible. It is the worst feeling in the world. And when you are standing with someone on equal footing where you've consented to the agreement and you are abused, then you reciprocate it back, which is where up to a lover's quarrel will have it reciprocated with role project. When you break a bond, when you break up and you end a relationship, you are actually severing the bond and the connection of the ninth ethic, which, so long as you're not loyal or honor bound, you're fine. Yeah, once you're bonded though, but most people cannot get to that point. Being bonded is a whole nother level of you can't, that is the 36th level of consciousness. It's not something just anybody can get to. For this reason, I am honor bound to my partner. It's a contract. It's a contract. So ethical law and ethical bonding is absolutely a direct link to the karma bank. It's a contract. And the more ethical you are, well, this is the problem. If you don't know what ethic you're at, you don't know what ethics you have to violate or you have to preserve and protect. So if you are highly ethical, and you don't know the ethics, you're going to be violating your ethics left and right. And if you are with somebody who's abusive and they are at, let's say they are at a third ethical perspective, but you're at the seventh ethical perspective, then every time they violate the fourth or the fifth ethic, that is going to, golden rule, cause you to reciprocate that, which is going to, in action, violate your own ethic. You will have forced ethical violation, which is now going to create mental illness and cognitive dissonance, because now you are behaving in a way that violates your own ethic. It's the opposite of disgust. It's the most, it's consumption is the only emotion I can give it. It is the emotion of consumption. It feels like obsession and possession. It's that. So if they violate your trust, if they don't trust you, trust is one of the ethics. So if they don't trust you, you are going to reciprocate that trust onto them. Now you are going to feel like you violated your own ethic because they didn't trust you, and now you project that onto them. And people going around saying, oh, just stop projecting. That's not how it works. You have to go through forgiveness. You have to go through the forgiveness process, which is the deconstruction, reverse engineering of the 12 ethical perspectives, because it's the golden rule at play. The golden rule is absolutely law. It's 100% physics law, which is why it shows up in everything we do. I think this is it. I think it literally all just keeps breaking down to the 12th ethic. Every violation that comes in my head. I type something on the internet. Some jackass comes along and he gets upset and offends and he attacks. He's violated the second ethic. He's violated the third ethic. Instantly. It's like, dude, you have violated the second and the third ethic. Get yourself back in line. See, now when I say that to him, I am using my fourth ethic. Every mental thing you can possibly think of, every human interaction comes down to these 12 ethics. the 12 laws of human behavior. And this is the best part. This is the best part. They linked to the karma bank. Karma's a bitch. You violate these ethics, Mother Nature will fix you, which is her way of, that's what mental illness is, oh, you just offended her karma bank and her equilibrium. So she sends in your mental illness to set you right. So either you repent, go through the 12 ethics, or Mother Nature will. And when Mother Nature does it, it doesn't feel good because she uses physics to do it. There is no option here. I mean, there is an option. You can live with the pain and be miserable, or you can follow the 12 ethics. Her punishment is without mercy. She truly is without mercy because she, and I can hear her now. I've got a whole equilibrium, like a whole universe to hold up here. I don't have time to babysit you guys. So get your shit together or you're going to be in a lot of pain because she's holding up the equilibrium and we're not exempt. This is absolutely extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. We're all going to have a problem with the eighth ethic. Oh, we are all going to have a problem with the eighth ethic. I'm going to tell you that right now, me included. We are all going to have problems with the eighth ethic. The eighth ethic is talking nicely to people. It's being consciously aware of the mental health of another person when you talk to them. Yep. It is being accountable for the words out of your mouth. It is sharing conversation. We are all going to have a problem with the eighth ethic. Yep. We're not there yet. Society is not there yet. I am. Which is why I've been trying to figure out how to, yep. Seventh ethic is listening, observing without judgment, and also valuing yourself. A lot of people have a problem with self, but I love that. I love that. This is one of my favorite things is watching 6 ethical perspectives boast about being ascended. But ascension doesn't exist, first of all, but they boast about being ascended. But as soon as you get into the 7th ethic, oh, you are judged. You are judged because you become ethically aware. At the 7th ethic, you become ethically aware. There is no escape. And all the crimes, all the stuff you have done at the 7th ethic, you got to answer for it now. And you're just standing there confronting your own ethical law going, yep, I was an asshole. 5th ethic, accountability. And you're just standing there going, yep, I was a total asshole. All right, then. And it's just you, Aikido. Aikido, that is what I recommend for everybody of the 7th ethic, Aikido. That is it. That is something I ram down people's throats consensually. Aikido. The philosophy of Aikido is the only way. Because, and this is funny, Aikido encompasses the 7th ethic, which is why I say Aikido. To promise to do better, to promise to learn, and to apply the lesson so that you will do better, to commit to be better. That is the 7th ethic. Because it's just you and nature and you got to answer for your shit. And this is the best part. Every time you shift to the next perspective, you got to go all through all the ethics all over again. When you get to the 8th ethic, you have to go through all 7. When you get to the 9th ethic, you got to go through all 8. When you get to the 10th, you got to go through all. So every time you shift, you have to go back through the 7th ethic each and every time. You got to taste that bitter pill of accountability every time. Yeah, you learn fast. You learn fast, which is why you spend a lot of time being quiet, because you are learning how to watch your mouth. Yep, that's the 7th, 8th, and 9th ethic. And the more I break these down, the more it's all what it comes down to. Forced ethical violation. So here it is. Well, what happens if you are abused by somebody and it's not your fault? 5th ethic. You did something that got you in that place. You did not deny access. You did not use your boundaries. What if I was a child? Fair game. fair game. Fair game. If you were a child, okay. But you are not a child anymore. So now you need to learn from that. You need to say, okay, what am I going to take away from this experience? These horrible people did this to me when I was 5 and 8 and 10 years old. What can I learn from it that I need to take away from this so that it doesn't happen to me or my children again? 12 ethics in reverse. Because you can sit there and say, well, I was a child. Absolutely. Until there's going to be a point where it's now in your control. About the time you hit 15, 16, 17, it's in your control. You have the ability to do something. You have the ability to change. You do. And that is the difference between somebody who heals and somebody who doesn't. It's forgiving yourself when you truly are a child and you truly are innocent. Innocence is the complete and total inability to practice their own self-preservation. You are innocent if you truly do lack full self-preservation skills. But, and that's just it. If you have self-preservation, there you go, hon. My daughter's communicating with me. She either has something to add or she wants to ask about food. And I'm about to find out which it is. Oh, wow. Innocence, in no sense. I'll have to look on the, I want to look, that's interesting, in no sense. She's going through linguistic studies now. So she's drawing massive connections to word connections. She's following the exact same path I did, and it's fascinating to me. I'm like, haha, she hit the linguistics. When you hit the linguistic stage, yeah, she's going to hit the logic is next. Logic comes next, just so you know. She's like, no, linguistics and then logic. And that tells me she's in the sixth ethic, because that's what the sixth ethic does. The academic disciplines align to the ethics. Everything aligns to the ethics. Absolutely everything aligned to the ethics. It's extraordinary. The ethics are the embodiment of the academic, actually the academic disciplines are the embodiment of each ethic. Music is the first ethic. Courage. Courage. Have you ever sung in public? It's courage. It's courage. Absolutely. It's being vulnerable. Absolutely. Singing is the second one, singing and dance. And again, adventure, courage, and vulnerability. Oh yeah, totally. You do art performance and you're going to learn to be real vulnerable with yourself real fast. I'm starting to see all of the different ways that all of the 12 ethics can be used and shaped and formed. And as I'm saying that, it's just like, it was this golden rule that was nagging at me. And then realizing, oh, they just violated the sixth, the seventh, the second, fourth, sixth, and ninth ethic. Violated the forced consent, the second ethic of self-authority, the fourth ethic of self-control, the sixth ethic of equal footing. And with the golden rule, now you have forced ethical violation. So now you're being forced to violate your own ethic, which is why I was so angry with myself for so long, is because because of the distrust. It's completely reshaping how I think about trust. It's completely reshaping how I think about trust. Suddenly it's, wow, to not trust is a violation of the ethics. To not trust is a violation of the ethics. And when somebody doesn't, that's why when somebody doesn't trust us, we get so angry, is because they have violated our ethics. Now you have somebody who is an abuser and they're getting angry. This makes so much more sense now. You have a narcissist who wants you to trust them. You don't trust them. They get angry because you're not trusting them. They're angry because you are violating the third ethic, the first grouping, which is trust. But they're not trustworthy, but they haven't earned it. So they need to earn it so they can get the trust that they need, but they don't know how, which now explains why it leads into frustration. This is just going back around again, and it's making so much sense. Justice is the second grouping. That is your fourth, fifth, and sixth ethic. So when you feel like justice has not been done, it's because it's violated your fourth, fifth, and sixth grouping: self-control, accountability, and equal footing. And then the third grouping is Compassionate foresight. Ooh, that one's a big one for me. That one's a big one for me. That one's I'm all over the place on that one. That one is like, I'm going to go get my spear and I'm going to go to war on that one. So the third grouping is self-preservation for others. It's going out of your way to protect others. And that's where I'm at. 7th, 8th, and 9th is when other people get hurt. And that is my, don't hurt my people. Don't hurt my people. And every time I learn more about these things, I see how teachers, authority figures, psychologists are hurting people the most. And I'm like, you should know better. You're walking around flapping your degree all over the place. What the fuck are you doing? Stop hurting my people. And that's where I get so angry. 7th, 8th, and 9th ethics. So now I know that I can reverse engineer that and go, okay, I need to break it down with, they don't know better. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Now, the next one is compassionate submission, is humbled submission. Really, if you want to get right down to the truth, it's actually consensual slavery. That's what the next one is. The fourth grouping is consensual slavery. But that's a really advanced ethic. And a lot of people hear it and they're like, ah, and I'm like, yeah, it's a whole, it's up there. It's really advanced. Consensual slavery is, yeah, that's another thing. The whole concept of compromise is actually a violation of the ethics. It violates the second ethic, which explains why it makes me cringe, is because you are violating the second ethic and the third ethic. You are violating the second and the third ethic whenever you compromise, which is why it always drove me nuts. This makes so much sense. Every single thing in our culture now, I can see every single violation, every single, oh, this is the one they're violating. This is the one they're violating. And if you don't know the 12 ethics, you are going to be violated. You are going to violate, and then you are going to be forced to violate. So I can see easily where it's those three things over and over again. It's forced to violate, which is that golden rule. That golden rule is what makes us do that. And it's not unaccountable. It's understanding how the subconscious mind works, that you are going to have that reciprocity in your brain, and you can't control it. That's our brains. That's how they work. So you have to use discernment to make sure your golden rule, your reciprocity, is not wandering around the wrong people, because you have the golden rule in your head doing reciprocity all over the place. So if you subject yourself to abusive people, you are going, golden rule, to become an abusive person. And if you're not using the fourth ethic, self-control, personal boundaries, discernment, that is going to come back and make you violate your fourth ethic, which is going to make you violate the 7th, 8th, and 9th ethic, which is self-preservation of others. Boy, that took way too long. I know it sounds weird, right? Self-preservation of others, but it's true. So you self-preserve, and then you realize, oh my God, you're part of me too. So you extend that self-preservation shield out to include others. So to protect others is now an act of self-preservation. So that's part of it. All right, I'm done having my mess of, oh my God, this is so cool. All right, thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.